Now, given everything that is going on in our country with, protesters demanding change both culturally and systemically, and especially knowing the history of this nation and how it treats Black communities and their issues, what are your overall thoughts and predictions for everything that's going on right now? Like, do you feel that we are moving in a direction where the needle of progress is going to move in a meaningful way? How do you feel about this whole political cultural climate that we're in right now? Do you think we're going to be off better at the other end, or do you think this is sort of a sliding down from here?
It's really hard to say, but I will say, I think I'm an optimist. So I will say, I do think we are moving in the right direction. I do think, though, that I'm one of these people that really believes that ultimately, in order to fix this system, we got to shut it down. You got to tear it. You got to start at the core and start build it back up.
Mm-hmm.
So, quick story about that. I have a friend that I was working with, and she was asking about, well, this infant mortality problem, how do we solve the problem? I said, well, first of all, we know it's racism that's causing these issues by and large. I said, you can't take a house on a tilted foundation, try to paint it and put new curtains up and say, oh, it's fixed. You got to tear that whole house down. You got to start over from the beginning. And I said, I am not going to pretend that I know what that looks like or what that means operationally, like for real in real time, what that means to tear everything down.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but to me, that is the only way. I mean, does that mean giving Native Americans their land back? It might. I don't know. But how, there's probably a whole course of things that need to happen, but it cannot stand as it is. We can't just say, oh, we're just going to change this, tweak this a little bit and, do these little things and it'll be fine. This house is, we over here, the foundation, we sitting sideways like this. We got to tear the whole thing down. That's really what I think. And if this is the first step in dismantling that system, then yes, we're heading in a good place. I hope it doesn't take 400 more years. Because I think we waited long enough. We fought long enough. We cried. We've died. We've toiled long enough as a culture and as a people. So if this is the first step into that direction of tearing this down, oh, I'm happy. I don't know what's gonna happen, but let's do it.
Fully agree. Fully agree. Like, I think especially, for anybody who is interested in, American history outside of white people history, it's just so clear that things haven't worked since the beginning, unless you are wealthy and white. I mean, time and time and time again, it's always been proven that these small reforms are only just like incremental steps where you take one step forward and there's always something that puts us two steps back. But speaking of progress and change, you recently published a book titled Pushing Through. What is this book all about, and who is it for?
This book is a labor of love. It took me an entire year to write that book. I wrote it all by myself. That's a little side jab at somebody, but I wrote it all by myself. And you know what I'm talking about. This book is for a number of people. So this is for the teen mom, right, that I was some years ago. This is for college students that may be trying to figure out how, what to do. I'm in school. I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. What's going to happen after I get out? This is a book that says I'm on the other side of that. And here's how this can work out for you. I also imagine this book, honestly, I'm trying to email folks that work at universities. I'm like, this sociology, this is a sociology book right here, textbook. This is a public health textbook because it's my life story, but that's those public health and social justice themes are weaved throughout. I've had epiphanies. I've been driving through Malibu and saying, how come ain't no liquor stores out here, but in my neighborhood, there's liquor stores on every corner. What's up with that? And you having those moments. So the book is really for, I would say, primarily African American women in different stages of their life, either high school or you're in college, or you're trying to figure out what to do next, and you're not really sure. that book is for you.
Awesome. Well, to be honest, I would love to, have to invite you back some other time to do a reading. We have sort of sped through all of our questions, and I've had such a great time talking to you. But before we have you head out, Nicole, what are you working on, and where can we find you?
So besides, trying to push this book out, which is very important, I am working on some image and fashion consulting. So aside from being the public health scholar, I really love fashion. And I think that body positivity, growing into yourself and learning how to dress well, especially being a woman of color, when we're often, very much criticized, is really, really important. So I'm working on building that brand up as well and offering courses and consulting and coaching to women. And besides that, you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is my first name, middle initial, last name, Nicole D. Vick. I am also on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is probably, like I said, that's my new jam right now. Look for me, look for me on LinkedIn. Same thing. Nicole D. Vick is you can find me there. My website is coming. I'm having someone working on it right now. We're doing some rebranding, and when that is up, same thing. I'm smart. Everything is my name, Nicole D. Vick. So www.nicoledvick.com. The book, really quick before we end, it was launched on June 1st, the Kindle version, and it made #1 in the healthcare delivery section.
Oh my
And I was
gosh.
like, what? This girl from
Congratulations.
the hood. So really excited. And the paperback version will be launched September 14th, but it is available pre-sale as well. So
Awesome.
yes.
Well, I definitely would love to go ahead and take a look at it, and we would definitely love to have you back on. Nicole, it was a pleasure. And again, whenever you'd like to come back on to read off your book, I think a lot of us would definitely appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Nicole, have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday.
Thanks.